Okay, so here's the plan. So I am going to use my fancy dancy little Semco-like spreader, so that thing, with the, I want to say 6-ounce tube, to do the baffle of the tank. And so my plan of action is take the tank sealant gun, I'll lay this down, I'll put a bead across there like the instructions say, bead across here like the instructions say. I'll put a big old glob in each of the corners, here and here and down there and down there. I'll put a little bit of a smear across each one of the inner ribs. I will place the baffle in, making sure it smears down the stuff on the edge. Then I will cleco all the clecos in. I will then, clecos on the outside, I will then use the, what are they, the AD-41Hs on the two outside pieces for all of the ribs. Then I will smear a little bit of stuff for the attached Z's, and then I will cleco those into place and then attach them with the AD-42H closed in pop rivets. Then I will go and rivet and squeeze all of the outside rivets except for the ones that I haven't countersunk yet. And so that should be the plan. We'll see how it goes. But I did get a great price from the yard store on the, or it might have been Brown Tool. I'm not sure who I got it. I think it was Yard Store on this thing. It was only 150 bucks, which is a lot better than like 600 I've seen them for. So there you go. See ya. Bye. Okay, so I am doing the rear baffle on the right tank. I believe it's the right tank. Yep, right tank. Rear baffle. So got it set up, got everything organized. So hopefully you will see in about an hour and a half this thing is done. So I'm gonna mix up, I'm gonna do a pint, and hopefully that is enough. So we will see. Howdy everybody, welcome back to tank video number 16 with the tanks. And in this video I am going to do what I just talked about at the beginning. I'm going to put the baffle in the tanks. And obviously a pint is 16 ounces, not 6 ounces, so I was a little bit wrong there. So I hope you caught my screen text there. So 6 ounces is what fits in those tubes for the Semco-like squeezer thing that I got from the yard store. It was fantastic, by the way. It puts down like a perfect bead of tank sealant, so I would highly recommend that tool. It's worth every cent of the $115 I spent on it. And then the cartridges are $3 and $4 each. I just got a few of each size because you get the 6-ounce one and then the 2.5-ounce one. I can't say enough good things about it. It was extremely easy to use and extremely nice. Like, you couldn't do better if you tried. I mean, it was very cool. So I highly recommend that. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here, is just putting that baffle in. And I do require some help because time was not on my side. As always with tank sealant, you have to do it in a certain amount of time. And the baffle is time consuming, I will just say that. So while you watch me put some clecos in and then remove some clecos and put some rivets in, I got a couple of jokes. I did have somebody reach out to me and say, hey, they watch my videos because they're interesting and fun to watch, but they really enjoy the jokes, so don't leave them out of videos anymore. And so here you go, dad jokes. So what do mermaids use to wash their fins? Tide. Oh, that one was so dumb. Oh, I got another one. Another dumb one for you, okay? So I got an A on my origami assignment when I turned my paper into a teacher. That's a dumb joke, too. Oh, those are horrible jokes. But anyways, there's your dad jokes for this video. Um, I will show you kind of at the end of this video. I did buy another tool, and what I did find out is the kits that come when you purchase the kit from Vans, and then they say, hey, here's these companies that sell you the kits to get you started on tools that you'll need to actually build the kit. And that is true. Every tool that you get in those kits, you can use on the empennage, the first kit you get from Vans. That is a true statement. But as you move further and further into your build, you will need kind of specialty tools and better tools. So the little Semco-like squeezer is one of those. It makes your job a lot easier. You can do it without it, obviously, but I would not suggest doing it without that gun. It made it very, very simple. Another one that I will show at the end of this video is the pop rivet puller. So that is my pneumatic pop rivet puller that I got from Harbor Freight. Let's be honest, Harbor Freight doesn't have the best quality tools, but it works 90% of the time. But for the closed end rivets that you put into the tank with the steel shaft, they're different. I think it's because they're steel, they're not aluminum, but they're different. And the cheap stuff from Harbor Freight did not pull them well. My little red rivet puller that I got, I think from Ace Hardware, does not pull them well. And then my little blue pop rivet puller that I got from Lowe's did okay 80% of the time. So not too bad, but it would. And funny thing is those go up progressively in price. So you start with the cheap little $35 thing from Harbor Freight, you go get the $29 thing from Ace, and then you get the $35 thing from Lowe's. When really go spend the $60 on the good one from Aircraft Spruce, and you're golden, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So I highly recommend the tools that are on like Aircraft Spruce and Aircraft Tools and all of the other website, Yard Store and Brown Tool, all of those. They're specifically designed for aircraft stuff. Spend the extra money. Don't waste your money on tools that will do perfectly fine for automotive stuff and house stuff. There is absolutely nothing wrong with them. But when you start talking about the airplane stuff, go get the good tools. That's my rant of the day, just FYI. The end Z brackets with the rivets that you have to buck are a little bit more difficult than the pop rivets, just because the angle's kind of weird, but they're not too bad. Not too bad at all. I wouldn't, they're kind of easy actually, but it is a little bit different and the angle kind of sucks, but not a problem. And then you do have to remember what way you put those Z brackets in, because there is a specific way that they go. So make sure you have them lined up correctly, the correct way, and make sure they have tank sealant on the bottom of them.
Okay, not real sure how much of that you got, because I was busy doing it. So I apologize. I'll try to get it on the next one so you can see what I did. But basically, I did what I said I was going to do. It's upside down right now. It looks like I got the corners pretty good. I'm going to flip it over and then remove every other one and then put the countersunk ones in. So that's what I'm working on now.
So by remove every other one, I meant clecos. So I'm going to remove every other cleco and then put the rivets in the flush mounted rivets in each of the holes and then squeeze them. Obviously, by now you guys should know how that all works. But there was a lot of them, so I enlisted some help from my youngest daughter and my nephew. So they came out and helped me put the little rivets in the little holes because my daughter's hands are small enough that that makes it very, very easy. And then I had my nephew kind of removing the clecos as we kind of went around the tank there. So this is all pretty standard stuff. You just have to be quick about it because the whole time it's sitting in this position, the tank sealant is kind of falling with gravity. And so you don't want it sitting like this with gravity working against you for very long. So you want to make sure you can get around it pretty quickly. So enlisting some help actually does work pretty well. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the baffle itself. It's not difficult, it's just time consuming, a lot of rivets, and the tank sealant just adds an added level of complexity, is all. And then you do have like 5 or 6, I think, holes that are not countersunk, and they don't get countersunk. They're kind of your lineup holes. And you'll see I'll put clecos here in a little bit in those holes because I did not put rivets in them. And then, see, there you go, putting the clecos in. And then I turn it upside down so the gravity now is working in my favor.
For a day, I'm gonna clean it off, clean up tools, and I'm done.
And here you go. You will see the new pop rivet gun that I got from Aircraft Spruce. And I'll put a little image of the one I actually purchased here on the screen. But I highly recommend getting the good pop riveter for the pop riveting job.
Okay, so tanks, both sealed up, both done. One will be ready to pressure test tomorrow, and then 6 days, 7 days from, well, 6 days from tomorrow, I will pressure test. So next Tuesday, I'll pressure test this last one that I did. So we're getting there. So yeah.
So this is finishing up on the baffle, so just cleaning up, but pointing out at the back, kind of in the back of this image here, do you see the red balloon? So that is the tank that I finished technically a week before this video. And so I'm pressure testing it. And that red balloon, currently, I believe it's sitting at 18 hours like that. And so I think I have 5 or 6 hours left to go on it for a full 24 hours to make sure it stayed inflated for 24 hours. But that's where that is. And then all I'm doing here to finish this up is you countersink those, 6 or 7 holes that you have on each side that you didn't countersink before. You just go countersink them and then rivet them after kind of everything has dried for a day to finish those off. So there's not a whole lot left to do there. See, I'm putting in I forget how many there were. There's, I think 60 or 70 across the baffle, and I think I skipped every 10. So there's 5 or 6 or 7 anyway. And then you squeeze them. As always, those are pretty easy. So while I'm doing that, I'll talk about what I'm going to do next. Is I'm going to get the NTP fittings and the fill drain fitting out, and I'm actually going to install those. And I do use a lubricant on them that's specifically designed for fuel tanks. And you can see if you look at the text there at the bottom, if you go look that stuff up, it is designed for the fuel tank fittings. So the fuel doesn't eat away at that sealant that you put on the threads of the NPT fittings.
But I will do that. We'll give that like 5 more hours. We'll give that balloon like 5 more hours, make sure he's still all blown up like that, and then we're going to call that guy good. And then we will pressure test this guy this weekend.
And as always, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. If you have not subscribed, please do so. And if you have any comments or any questions, feel free to ask. Leave them in the comments. I'll try to get back to people in a week or so. It depends on how busy I get with actual work and whatnot, but I will answer you eventually. So, as always, talk to you later. See ya. Bye.